the drive of shame. Not really. I am headed home though. I hit a barrel last night in the performance round. I caught it with my ankle. I thought I was past it. I caught it leaving it. Should have lifted a leg. Didn't. I don't know. I didn't feel like I hit it hard enough to fall, but that sand, it's just different. It is different. I've never run on that before. You can feel it just shifty underneath you, you know, but it didn't bother me. It didn't bother Spencer. What bothered Spencer is running out and seeing people standing in the arena, the judges that are standing by the alley. He didn't know what to think about that. There are people standing, I think towards the third barrel. He definitely looked at them, and, you know, he's just not a rodeo horse. Things like that really bother him. I don't think I could have paid him to run out of that arena for all the cookies on the earth. He was like, why are they standing there? And the funny thing is, he lopes out and then still hits the gate. Still won't stop for the closed gate and still hits the gate. Just ridiculous. But, he was not slow, even with all of that going on. And he was a nervous wreck, man. Parking underneath the overpass with the cars going on it, that was loud. Walking 2 blocks down the street with cars going and pedestrians and a carnival all on concrete and asphalt. That was not fun. I definitely wish that I would have had moves. My gray horse is a lot younger, a lot less experienced than Spencer, but he loves chaos. He just thrives in it. It doesn't scare him. It just makes him sharper. And so, yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish that I would have had him. He is recovering from a whole bunch of injections for a kissing spine, and they essentially flared his EPM. So then we had EPM treatment, and now we're dealing with ulcers from both from the EPM and the EPM treatment. So there's that. But he will be good to go very shortly, and it'll be nice to have him next year. I'm hoping I will have him next year. We injected his back for the kissing spine, but we don't know how effective those injections are going to be. And if they are not going to be effective, then he will have surgery in January, February. So we'll just see how it goes. I really don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely going to get qualified for Corpus Christi again. I thought it was super fun. And I need to do the Days of 47 in Utah. I need to do the Fort Worth. I probably will do the Women's World Finals. I should have nominated, but I've got a lot going on right now, so I am going to wait to do my nominations until things settle personally and I can get some money. Well, I have money stashed and I need to leave it stashed. I don't need to be paying double entry fees and nominations right now. So it's just temporary. Once we get this all handled, then of course I will go back and try to requalify. I've been asked a million times, are you going to pro rodeo? Are you going to pro rodeo? So I did. A while back, years ago, and I mean like 7 or 8 years ago, I pro rodeoed for several years. Mainly just seasoning horses to get them ready to go be really good for someone else. I never felt, maybe with one of them I felt like he could have placed if he'd have just got his crap together. He ended up just going on to be a really nice rodeo horse, just not for me. So yes, I do think that I will go to pro rodeos, because sometimes you just, honestly, I feel like sometimes they're cheaper to go to your like local pro rodeos instead of driving like all over the country. Maybe just go to your circuit rodeos. As far as traveling and pro rodeoing and doing it on that level, no. 90% of the pro rodeos don't pay worth a crap. I mean, maybe for the top 4 or 5 they pay, but last hole at the pro rodeos typically pays $50. And at a lot of the pro rodeos, like $50 to $100, and right now I can't even fill up my tank for that. So I am not going to go down the road for that. I think it would be financially irresponsible for me to do that, and I don't want to ever put my family in any type of financial bind because of my passion. So I do like going to these rodeos. They pay you, they are tough, but you get somewhere and you stay. So like I drove to Corpus Christi, but I was here for a week. You get in the top 48, then you get in the top 24, and then you get in the top 7, and then you get in the top 3. And so you're there for a week. You're not driving all over the place, and you have multiple chances of winning money. And when you win money, it's significant money. So that is kind of, and there's no entry fee. Once you get qualified for these deals, you don't pay an entry fee. You just show up. Most of the time, your stalls are comped, and you just hang out. And so it's definitely different than pro rodeo. I would say this is the new era rodeo, where they have taken into account that not everybody wants to spend 6 figures to make 6 figures, or spend 6 figures to not make 6 figures at the NFR and to basically be in extreme debt when they leave. Very few people that go down the road pro rodeoing actually make money. And usually the ones that are okay started with money. They had money before they went. So that's just the fact of it. I think that the WCRA and the American have really capitalized on people who are not willing to do that or don't want to do that for whatever reason. It's not their thing, and can still compete at a really high level for a whole bunch of money without putting the wear and tear on their horses, on their vehicles, on their family, and on their pocketbook. At the same time, I think pro rodeo is always going to be the OG. I think it's always going to be a really, really cool tradition, and where I will probably end up going to quite a few circuit rodeos next year, and I was wanting to this year, maybe this fall, I don't know. Just because they're there and they're local, and I'm not spending an arm and a leg to get there. And at the same time, you do still want to run and compete on a professional level, even though I feel like that term is silly a little bit. I think, I think there are futurity girls and derby girls who are just as professional as people going down the road, going to PRCA rodeos. I think I've been to a whole bunch of amateur UPRA rodeos that were just as tough, if not tougher to place in, and paid more than pro rodeos. So I'm very, when someone says, well, I pro rodeo, and I'm like, well, that's great. I don't really put emphasis on someone who drives down the road going to PRCA rodeos in particular as professionals. I think the professionals come in all shapes and sizes. I think when someone pro rodeos or runs barrels as a professional, they can do that, whether they futurity, derby. You go to these ruby buckles and these pink buckles, like, you're paying your bills if you're placing. To me, you might as well be a professional. If you can compete at an elite level and you can pay your mortgage doing that, you are a professional. And I don't care what association that you're doing that is. I think that rodeos come a long way, and so that's my little rant on that. It is what it is. But I understand that there will always be that tradition, and I appreciate that tradition, and I think a lot about the PRCA. I really, really do. I just think that there are so many more options for us now, and that's a good thing. Options are a good thing. So yes, I will pro rodeo. I will do it on my gray horse though. The only time I would probably consider taking Spencer would be if it was during slack, a very quiet daytime slack that felt very much like a jackpot, because he does not dig performances. He's never going to. He's the only horse I've ever had that didn't season out of it, but he really has an innate fear of loud noises and lights and things, and even at home. You know, like, even at home, if my daughter and I are out shooting a BB gun, he can't handle that noise. A BB gun, guys. So he has an innate fear of these things, and this is not something he's going to season out of. Not all horses make rodeo horses, and it's a shame because he handles ground better than most rodeo horses do right now. It's insane. In 5 years, he's taken just maybe one misstep. So I was not worried about the ground at all in Corpus Christi, which is really nice because a lot of people were. But he does not have the mentality to do it, and that is okay. He makes a whole bunch of money going to Ruby Buckle races, and the qualifier he won money in, it was a very jackpotty feel, so we'll just let him do what he wants to do. And the gray horse Moves is going to definitely be more inclined to do better at rodeos and performances than he ever will jackpots, so we'll let him do whatever he wants to do. As far as my mental, I'm fine. I'm okay with it. Yeah, am I bummed that I hit a barrel? I am bummed I hit a barrel because I think if I'd even given half an effort into running out, maybe even just like kicked once or twice, which I didn't really feel the need to do after I hit a barrel. Because I knew Spencer was not going to be easy to stop. We would have been fast enough to at least pull a check. And so I think that we would have been just loping out. We were a 3 and you needed to be a 1 to be fourth and place last hole, so that would have been an easy thing to do. After I hit the barrel on the second barrel, I kind of just one-handed him through the rest of the run and let him just pick a speed. So yeah, on the other hand, I am extremely proud of him for getting his crap together just long enough to make a run, because he was a nervous wreck with everything that was going on, and I knew that that was not his style. So the last time I ran him in a performance was 6 years ago, his one and only performance, and he bucked me off of my head going to the first barrel, put me in the hospital. It was a really, really bad wreck. I was knocked unconscious, but I was sitting up straight, so with my head down, and there's a picture of it, and even now when I look at that picture, I am nauseous, immediately nauseous. He don't know why he bucked. He did have kissing spine at the time. We fixed his back since then, but he's always been very colty when it comes to these things, when it comes to performances and loud noises and announcers and music, and now we've got a fair going on, and the crowd was insane, and yeah, so he's always been weird like that. So I think it may have been a combination of everything, and he needed an excuse to act out, and his back probably was in pain, and that was the excuse to really get violent. I have not been brave enough to enter him in a performance since, and I would not have entered him in this I would not have run him in this performance had I had my gray horse. I really have reflected back on this. I thought about it last night, and I was like, why did you, like, I came so far in this deal. Spencer basically was one of the top, there's no doubt about it, he was one of the top horses here in Corpus Christi. And I was a little frustrated. I was like, man, whoa, my God, why can't he just get his crap together? And then I realized maybe this trip wasn't about, it was a little bit about proving that, you know, you don't have to pro rodeo to be tough. But on the other hand, I think really it was just about conquering a really, really deep fear that I would not have. If my gray horse was well, he would have gotten the call, and I would have gone another 6 years without entering Spencer in a performance. And I would have always wondered if Spencer would buck me off on my head going to the first barrel in a performance. Now I know that he won't. Now that I know that he'll go in there and he'll smoke his first barrel, and he'll turn a beautiful second and third, and maybe be a little leery running out, but still be one of the top horses there. And so now that I know that, I feel like, okay, maybe that is what this trip was about. Maybe it was just about getting over that innate fear that I had of, like, dying in a run with Spencer. During a performance, you know, I would never call on him going forward. I would never call on him. He would never be my first pick in a performance. I'm always going to go to my gray horse. But knowing that I can, if I have to, that means a lot. And so, and this is not some BS little, county rodeo performance. This was a big deal. So Clay Walker was in the concert after us in the arena. They lower the stage after the bull riding. They lower the stage, and then they put on a concert in the arena, and everybody who bought a ticket to the rodeo got to stay for the concert. And so the seats are packed, and there's a fair, there's a carnival going on outside. It was very busy. So it was a legitimate performance, bless him, and he did fine, and I did fine, and so that was nice to know. And now we know, and that if that's all that comes out of this trip, plus my little winnings from the qualifying round, if that's it, and the friends that I made while I was there, I'm cool with it. Plans when I get home, man, I'm just gonna jump on colts. I got 2 babies on the ground. One of them I haven't even seen. My mare had a baby when she got here. So Bronson baby, so I'm so excited. I'm gonna go play with newborn babies. And I have got to get back on Sister and go to some jackpots and get her finished, because I think she is a freak. And I've got to get her finished. I think I might be able to get back on Moves. I'm going to do 2 weeks of an ulcer treatment and then get back on him. And we're going to go to some amateur rodeos and put him in some performances, because that's what he loves. And we're going to make sure that he does not miss his rodeo season. He hates jackpots. He hates big rail races. He hates crap like that. Where Spencer loves that, Moves hates it. So I have got to make sure that I get Moves in some performances this summer, so that when he has back surgery this winter, he doesn't feel like he didn't get to do anything. Because I treat my horses like they're humans, and I just know that is exactly how he will feel. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna get him in some performances. I think his back is good, but if these injections don't work out, then he will just get kicked out to pasture just to hang out until this winter when we can fix it. And yeah, I feel good. I feel really, really proud of my horse. I feel proud of myself, and I am feeling a huge sense of relief. Big weight off my shoulders is how I feel right now. So now I feel like I can go home and just chill and ride colts. I just want to ride colts. That's it. I have a 2-year-old that's not even started yet, and I'm gonna x-ray knees, make sure Tipsy's good to go, and then I'm gonna put the first couple saddles on her. And yeah, I just want to spend time with babies and let my mind decompress from having to be intensely competitive to it's okay to be in the 70 on your colt and enter some novice horses and do some dumb shit. You know what I mean? It's okay. Coming from the Ruby Buckle here, I just felt a lot of, I don't know, not responsibility, but just you know what you're sitting on, and you know how much money you're competing for, and so you need to get your crap together. And that's I felt like I've been very serious for about a month, and now I get to just kind of chill out and go ride babies and expect them to screw up. And if they don't, then yay, but if they do, then oh well, they're supposed to. So yeah, I feel good about it, and I got about 5 more hours to drive. So I'll check in with you guys here in a couple of days. We do have some news. I'm waiting for Corey to take care of some business so I can let it be public. But there's that. Have a good day.